Welcome to CPF Firewire, a podcast from California professional firefighters where we discuss a wide range of issues affecting firefighters, our unions, our families, and the communities we serve.
Hello, my name is Brian Rice. I'm the president of the California Professional Firefighters. And on today's episode of the CPF Firewire, I have joining me Scott Austin and Jason Cervantes from the CPF Insurance Trust. They're here to discuss their roles as Insurance Trust board members in providing the best available insurance product and services to CPF members, both active and retired, to establish programs and plans to ensure our families remain protected in any situation that our firefighters face throughout their careers and beyond. I hope you enjoy this episode of the Firewire. I'm glad to have both of you here, Scott and Jason. Both of you have such extensive resumes. I'm going to start by having you tell a little bit about yourself before we go into questioning. Scott, I'll talk to you. Just a little bit about yourself.
So thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to come here and bring this to light. I had the honor of serving the Pasadena Fire Department for a little over 30 years. The citizens there had a good time. Retired as an engineer, otherwise known as the best job in the fire service. In my early days as a firefighter, I got involved in union activities, and I was encouraged by my station captain, who was a union president, to run for executive board, and I saw his day-to-day action, and I saw what he did and impacted people's life, and I thought that was a road I wanted to do. So I ran for the union board, got involved, and then I went through the ranks. I served as secretary-treasurer for a number of years and became president. And then I found myself right when I retired, the position of the insurance director came up. I threw my local nominated me, and I won the election, and got involved with a great group of individuals and a great product that we provide. And I look forward to enjoying talking about that today so we can understand what we're doing. In my side life, I'm a planning commissioner in the beautiful city of Monrovia, where my wife and I live, so I'd like to give back and be involved and use my skills.
That's awesome, Scott. Thank you. Jason, a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, Brian, I retired after about 33 years, with 33 years on the county fire department, and the last 10 or so, a little bit more with the union. Always, when I came on, I was told very young, it's like, leave it better than you found it. So that's always been my motto. So I like to, and I'm still doing it now, right? I also sit on the LA County EMS Commission as a CPF rep for us down there. So I'm still involved, and I still like to give back, and it's an honor to be here.
I'm glad to have both of you. For those listening, both of these guys have worked with legends in the labor movement, legends in their own local. John Tennant, in Local 809, John was their president. He was a CPF board member. He went on to be the state fire marshal. And Jason worked with Dallas Jones. Dallas was a president of LA County Firefighters forever. He went on to be the OES director. He was a District 7 director here. He was also a secretary treasurer. But both of those men are at the foundation of what we're sitting here talking about today, and why we're able to talk about it because of what they put in. Scott, I'm going to go to you, and I want you to help explain who the Insurance Trust is for those that are listening. We have members of an entire generation who may not even know about this program, and I want to take a step back, help me paint a better picture. What is the Insurance Trust, and how is a trust formed, and who does it serve?
Perfect. Great. I was one of those too back a generation ago, didn't understand what the Insurance Trust is. Back in the early 1970s, our predecessors saw a need to establish some kind of long-term disability insurance. And through convention resolution, the delegates passed a resolution creating, as what we know today, the California Professional Firefighters Insurance Trust. And why they did that, for unforeseen reasons, a lot of our predecessors worked side jobs. We called them C-shift jobs in Pasadena, where they needed additional income. We weren't compensated as well at that time.
They were called C-shift jobs?
We called them C-shift jobs in Pasadena.
Okay.
I don't know how they arrived at that, but they were people in the trades.
Yes.
Carpenters, painters, electricians.
I think most of us of our age bracket, we all I was a concrete finisher before as a firefighter.
I did some sanding and painting. So call me a limited painter. And they knew that there was an issue because their primary profession, firefighting didn't make a lot of money. The side jobs to pick that income up.
Right.
If they had some unfortunate life event, things happen. We respond to those. Firefighters respond to those every day, and we're not immune to them. So they created the trust to provide a long-term disability insurance product to supplement that income lost. And that their intention was it was a product designed by firefighters, for firefighters, and governed by firefighters. And through the years, we've had some name changes, and we've evolved into what we are today, and we're going to talk more about that today. And our primary product was the long-term disability plan, and it's governed by a couple statutes. We won't go into the weeds on that. Sound like an attorney, and we take pride, and we'll discuss how we have elected and appointed insurance directors who manage the plan, and we represent all the affiliates and we have 182 affiliates in last count, CPF, with over 35,000 members, and we work for them. We've created some other insurance products we'll discuss in our conversation today.
Definitely want to get into that a little bit later.
And our main focus was the same focus, was to provide some peace of mind to our members out there in the world and their families if they do lose that income, so we can protect them and they have some stability in their life. And like I said, we're here to serve the membership.
Good.
And
I think that's always been kind of the basics of a union, right? You see a need, you create it, you fix it, right? And that's kind of where this trust was born out of that. They saw a need for that, and now they created it, and now we're moving it forward and advancing it.
Jason, let's go a little bit, a layer deeper, how this trust is being managed. Why should the members feel safe buying into the program? And then any specific strategies being employed to help manage it?
Sure. As Scott alluded to, there's 7 directors, right? 4 are appointed and 3 are elected by the state membership. And then we also employ other outside agencies, the third-party administrator, right? All the directors are either current, active, or retired firefighters. So,
and they're all elected via convention.
Correct.
By our members or appointed by the president.
Correct. So, and there's no better person, right, to understand what the needs of a firefighter are than firefighters, which it suits the trust well as the directors that are there. We also employ a third-party administrator, which is PTW Insurance Services, for our vehicles that that we cover our insurance products, right? We have an actuarial, we have money managers that all basically guide us and they let us make informed decisions on what we can do with the trust and what kind of products that we're offering. So yeah, and we kind of administer that. With the 7 directors administer that, and all the people that kind of report to us and let us make informed decisions on those things.
What I appreciate about that, Jason, you said it, is the trust is made up of firefighters, active duty, and in retirement. So we do have that spectrum, which it kind of brings me into the next thing I wanted to talk about. When I talk to when we do field operations and I talk to locals, and it can be anything from politics. It all gets very far afield, and everybody has different thoughts. But this is one I have, and I believe it applies directly to the trust. I ask the members, does your spouse worry about what will happen to her when you go to work if something happens to you? And invariably, most people say no, they don't. And my response is, that's because your union is doing everything possible to protect your family while you're at work so you can focus. Conversely, do you worry about what will happen to your spouse if something happens to you on duty? And almost every time a member says, I don't. That's because their union takes care of them. And part of their union taking care of them goes right into this next thing, Scott, is being able to contractually provide insurance and protections for them in retirement, in disability benefits, and Lord forbid, line of duty death benefits. And the trust is a huge part of that. Some of the benefits in there probably across our unions are bargained for. Some they're open to us as firefighters. And that's where I wanted to go to next. Trust offers multiple insurance products, benefits, and services. And I want to hear about our flagship, the long-term disability, but I also want to hear about the other things that we've offered, because you guys have done a hell of a job, in my opinion, of our long-term disability, or PYI, protect your income. It is our flagship, and I want you to touch on that because there's some super things to be proud of. But what you're doing to provide other things for our members and their families to better protect them, I want to hit on that too, because you guys, in my opinion, in the last several years have really knocked it out of the park, and I want to hit on that.
Sure. Let's start with the Protect Your Income Plus, the long term. Why we're here, why we started it. And that plan is to protect on and off duty, but usually off duty injuries or life-changing events.
Stuff happens. Illness that's not related to the job. Just about anything that puts you on disability, correct?
And it provides a coverage for your long-term disability if you run out of benefits. And what we've seen over the years, and I saw as a young firefighter, now as I see this in my role, is that people don't have as many leave banks, vacation banks, nor do they have, we call them fire prevention spots, or spots where you could, if you got hurt, let's say you broke a leg skiing, you could go into a nice little, like a light duty role. And those are becoming, I think, more and more extinct, or
kind of
less.
A thing of the past.
Yeah. And that kind of started back in our policy in the 70s, and that this policy has matured. We are a self-funded policy, and when we say self-funded, all the benefits paid by premiums and reserves, which gives it a more stability. We're not paying for to have it reinsured, so we can keep the costs down on those benefits. And I'll kind of go over some of the monthly premium is $28.50.
And we're talking about PYI right now.
Yes. The monthly premium for the long-term disability, which is Protect Your Income Plus, is $28.50 a month. And it covers 66.67% of covered earnings, which is 66 2/3, and we say covered earnings are like compensable for retirement. It doesn't cover overtime income, but anything that would be considered in your CalPERS retirement or your county retirement is covered under that. We have a maximum benefit of $11,000 a month, which covers about 16, if your base pay was $16,500, that to give some math there. It does have an elimination or waiting period of 60 days, or if you have no leave or you're on a no pay status, it begins immediately.
So the 60-day period is if you have sick leave or 4850 workers' comp. And would you guys touch a little bit on how those dovetail?
So in some instances, if your 4850 time or your workers' comp doesn't pick up your full salary, the benefit, or in the language in our benefit, will make up part of that. And if you're on a no pay or there's a dispute on your claim, it covers you at that 66 2/3. A little caveat, there is language in there to recover that if you do get a payoff.
The big thing is it's not a duty-related injury or illness. It's anything not duty-related. But if it is duty-related, there is a potential to fill a gap between your salary and 4850. Did I understand that correctly?
That is correct. So if you had a duty thing, and the next thing I wanted to touch on is the mental health. We have the industry leading for long-term disability of 24 months for mental health or nervous PTSD. As mental health issues, PTSD has become more, I say prevalent, but we've noticed it, and California Professional Firefighters the last decade has taken that on because it's an important thing. And this is a benefit. It's hard, or this is a claim when the firefighters, our members, file. It's kind of hard to diagnose, and we've seen a lot of individuals or our policyholders come back and they're out of benefits.
Right.
They're on a no pay scale. So we raised that to 2 years, knowing that it's a challenge to get that through. And if you're having challenges with mental health or your PTSD, we wanted to give them a peace of mind for them and their family. And we found that firefighters are ill-equipped or non-prepared in estate planning, i.e. like having a trust or will. So we added a component to our plan of participants can get a living trust or a will, and we partnership through a leading online provider, willandtrust.com, to provide that online portal and cover your will or trust. And I would suggest getting the trust, and it's about an $800 value, which covers about 28 months of your premium.
I want to go back to one thing real quick. You said participants can. Simply by being a member of the CPF, does that qualify you to take advantage of the will and trust benefit, or do you also need to have benefits under your name?
You need to be a participant of our long-term disability plan.
Okay.
So if you're, and maybe we should go back. If you're a member of if your local is affiliated with CPF and you're a member of your local union, you have ability to get all of our different products. But the key is being a union member.
Can I go, Jason? You talked about some of the structure and stuff. Let's talk about, especially PYI.
Mm-hmm.
When we pay into it, is it funded? What's our funding level? And then how easy is enrollment?
We're 100% funded for sure.
Which is a very big deal.
Huge.
I really want to stress that to the listeners. It is a benefit that is 100% funded.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back a second on the PYI, like for the PTSD, right? That we have this coverage in this plan. I mean, it's being from. Part of my union duties were workers' comp, and the PTSD claims are, like Scott alluded to, they're hard to diagnose and hard to get picked up. So a lot of times it stretches on for 90 days, 120 days. It goes on for a long time with just conditional denials, right? And in that amount of time, this would be helping to make that up if you're unable to work.
How easy is it to enroll in let's start with PYI and then carry over to, I do want to hit some of the other products that the trust has, because you guys have been working in overdrive to expand benefit opportunities for the members.
We have 100%. And like I said, I'm the new one here. I'm the boot on the directors, right? I was elected at last convention, but just I've been impressed in what I think collectively we're all looking forward to looking to advance. I mean, we've done a lot of changes. We've dropped our premium, right, for instance, right, to make it more competitive.
On the PYI?
Yes, on the PYI. It just came down to the $2,850, where it was higher before.
At 100% funded?
At 100% funded.
That's fantastic.
So, and the ease of enrollment, we wanted to come into the current, right, which is internet and cell phones and everything else, QR codes, all these things, right? So we're able to now, if you just Google CPF Insurance Trust, it'll come up. The website comes up. Where we were before, and we had your help in this, of course, we were a link on the CPF website. And a lot of people would tell us that, it's hard to find where you're at and all that other thing, because there's drop-down menus, then a sub-menu and all this other thing. But now, if you just Google it, it's as easy as ordering off of Amazon, right? If you want any of our products, you can enroll just the CPF, and it'll go CPF Insurance Trust, and it'll take you right to that website, and you're able to enroll online now. Right, currently, we have to actually physically, or they can call. They're able to call. We have that phone number too, which is 888.
888-550-5000. That's 888-550-5000.
And that's how we were having to do it, right? If you wanted this, but our local leaders, our union leaders, because I do recruit signups still for LA County with some of the exec board, and I always explain the PYI program to our guys. Right? When we're onboarding people, I go and we sign them up for the union, and now that they're a union member, they have access to this plan, right? And it's I think, very beneficial for somebody that's just coming on, because,
100%.
like you say, once you go on no pay status and you don't have any leave time, and you get hurt, now you're out of money, because your job's not going to pay you because you didn't get hurt at work. Right?
There's like three things when you came on as a brand new firefighter, at least where I worked. bring a pen and $10. $10 was your union initiation fees, and then you will participate in deferred comp, and you will get disability insurance. And at that time, it was PYI.
Yeah.
Those are three enduring things that new members should always do.
Yeah, and I encourage our local union leaders for the local boards to get some knowledge on this program, and when they're signing their new members up, explain it to them and let them know that this is a benefit that they have through the CPF.
Let's talk about some of the other benefits that are available through the trust, guys.
Sure. Let's start off. We have a wide range of tailored family or personal coverages out there. And some of the easier ones are home and auto insurance. We have the ability to do that. We call family protection, like group life insurance options. So that would be another form of protection for your family. And having group termed life insurance is a cost-efficient way of doing that, and that's a variety. Those rates depend upon your age and the amount of coverage, but we can explore that. Our insurance professionals can explore that. We also offer prepaid legal plans. Interesting enough was when I was a union president, people would always come for advice on legal matters outside the workplace or labor law, and that plan kind of covers your, the most popular things in life that you'd need or have legal help with. We have, I call the Daredevil insurance, which is a medical transport insurance. Because some of these policies, some of your health insurance policies will not cover a large variety of medical transport, like a helicopter ride. And
like
if you're
a guy who rides dirt bikes in Plumas County, California.
Yes. And so that covers that. And there's an international plan. So if you're abroad, you get have peace of mind on that. And the other Daredevil thing, which covers on and off the job, is called accidental death and dismemberment insurance. And that pays for different bodily injuries, loss of finger or limbs and things. We do have information on our online portal on that. What I think is important for our union leaders that are listening in today, we offer union liability insurance for the local unions, and which is an important thing to have. My local, when I first became Secretary-Treasurer, was involved in a legal battle, and that helped preserve some of the funds in your local treasuries. And if you're fortunate enough, have a union office or a union hall, we can get quotes for you or on building coverage, liability coverages for those things.
Scott, I'm glad you brought that up. It was not kind of a line that I was thinking along. If you are a union officer, a union president, a secretary-treasurer, or a trustee of your union, and you don't know, ask the question, do we have union liability? And if the answer is no, you need to call the trust right away, and they can help you establish an umbrella liability insurance policy. As a local president in Sacramento, I had to utilize ours over a 12-year time period, I think twice. And it wasn't catastrophic, but it was enough that it needed to be done. I cannot stress that enough. For every local union, you have to have a liability umbrella for your organization. Yeah. And don't sit there and think, because we have this, we have that. Ask the question. So I'm glad you all brought that up. Super important.
It's very important, and we're here to serve you. We're also open-minded if members have an insurance thing or an idea. How we get what I think is powerful in our union is that we're governed, or our governing body is firefighters, retired, active. They're all throughout the state. They come from different sized departments. You have different looks, and I'm always been impressed. One of our insurance directors has been doing this for a long time, and he brings that history. And Mr. Mayberry, he's a sharp individual, and gets these things, and always keeps the membership at front, and he picks my ear all the time. And he usually is my he's he's based in Sacramento. He usually is my chauffeur around Sacramento and picks my brain on these things and gets me going in the right direction. So
yeah, and I think the common theme, like we talked about before, with all the products that we're offering, such as the union liability insurance, is that we saw that there's a need. Mm-hmm. Right, and you may not even know that there's a need. Right, some of our locals don't know that. Well, I don't know if I even have liability insurance, but we offer that product. So here's a product for firefighters from firefighters. Right, we see the need. Here's a product for it.
100%. Jason, I've worked with you a lot, and I've worked with you in situations that were upbeat and fun, and we've worked together on line of duty deaths. Yeah. And I know that every member of the trust is accessible to a union president if necessary. Mm-hmm. And I would say to any member of a local, if you have something come up, you're not sure, get a hold of your local president, and they will be able to get a hold of a trust member. Mm-hmm. Or the third-party administrator. But what I appreciate about our trust is you guys and your accessibility, and the fact that both of you have been there. I mean, it's a trite saying, but you've both been there and done that. Mm-hmm. in the good times and the bad times, and that for all of us, that's super important. As we move forward, Jason, what are a couple of things that goals or ambitions that you would like to see the trust begin to take on? Well, and Scott, you think about it too, please.
Yeah, for sure. And the website was huge, right? I think that was really good, and it was a solid move in the right direction, because now we don't have to physically go out and speak to somebody, right? And they can get at that product in their hands quicker, right? This is the day and age, right? Yeah. So more outreach has been the common theme since I got on the trust. It's like, how do we reach more?
I know people? This came from that conversation.
Correct.
How do we let
them know? Besides, we were going to district meetings, and we have, our directors are spread out throughout the state, so it's like you might get one there, two there, but this central method, right, of the website was huge, I think, and the accessibility. And we're looking at QR codes still. We're still looking at that, right? And so, the trust, growing the membership, and we're not out there selling it by any means, right? It's here. We've created this, the CPF and the trust and the insurance trust has created these products, grouped these products together for you. If you need them, great. They're there, and they're very competitive, and they're great products. They've all been vetted. So adding things, as things come up, we're continually looking to add things, right? Or potentially even cut the premium even more now that we're fully funded. But it's all dependent on growing the membership that are using our products. Hoping to, anyway.
Let me dovetail on a couple of those things. Expanding the participants in the long-term disability offers a couple things. It grows, the benefits are paid from the reserves. In each monthly premium, there's a certain amount of money that's deducted. So the more money in the reserves makes it even more stable to pay current and future benefits, but we can also take a look at it, and that's why we employ the actuarial services, the money managers, is upping potentially the benefit amount percentage-wise, or lowering the monthly premium. But we always take in consideration we've got to be able to fund it properly, and it is the most economical plan out there. And likewise, as Jason says, to expand the portfolio of different insurance products, like your auto and home and things of that nature, bringing things in. We're always looking at an alternative. We work really well with a third-party provider, PTW, and that's it's a large family business, and they have all sorts of insurance options, and we really have seen a positive increase, and we bring things in, hey, can you do this, can you do that, and sometimes it isn't. We look for quality insurance carrier. But on the phone where we get stuff, we have a platform and we've just started to do that. It's called FIRES platform, which stands an acronym for Firefighters Insurance Resource.
Okay.
Resource electronic system, otherwise known as a glorified website. And as we
So it's app-based?
Yeah, well, no, actually, web-based, app-based, web-based. And where we're trying to get to this is that Local 1014, Local 809, Local 522 has their own individually designed portal. It might be linked on their own website, and they might have something particular that we do for them, but it'd be even down to specific to the local union. It could be broad for firefighters that don't have unions that participate in something like that, or it gives them 24/7 access to our product line. And it gives them a sense of, hey, man, I need my homeowner's insurance. They canceled me. I live in an urban interface area or something like that, where it's localized and they have that ability, like I said, all through that, laptop, things, phone, email, we're pretty available, but that's where we're going with the trust, and working with our colleagues at CPF and the union, getting feedback. I think our future is bright. And
is there a place where participants and/or members can submit questions or requests on different products that the trust board can evaluate? And potentially work with a third-party administrator on potentially, bringing in a new product line. Is there an area that they can ask questions?
So I'm going to give you a couple options on
Perfect.
that. I think so. So first is the 800 number, the 888-550-5000, or you can email anything, any questions, coverage, ask a question, want us to come and speak, send you material where we can direct you, and that's at info@ptwinsurance.com. They can ask questions, call and ask us. Leslie and Lauren there usually will answer the phone. We don't answer the phone probably, but if they need to sometimes the message comes down, they're real receptive of getting information to us, or calling me and asking me, since I happen to just be the chair, so I get those calls. But hey, if somebody's got some idea or needs some help, we're more than glad. Sometimes if you call at 5 o'clock on Thursday, they might call you the day later. We'll get back to you on that.
Mm-hmm. And most of our locals, most of, like I got all the people back at home in 1014, right? They know that I'm sitting on this trust, so I get all those calls, and we got 3,400 members just in LA County. But if you go on the website, and you're more than likely going to recognize somebody that's on the trust on that, or because it says where we're from also, so they can call our local. Not the most ideal way to do it, the roundabout way. We'd like to be more accessible, like with an email or something like that. That's something that the trust is talking about too, putting our contact information on the website for that. But
something I thought of when we were discussing here, as far as participation in the PYI Plus plan, we cover federal firefighters because they have they're a little bit different.
Glad you brought that up. Expand.
And their workers' compensation is completely different than firefighters that are based in California. Likewise, the CAL FIRE to Local 2881 has seasonal members, and we do have a sub-policy within that. It's it doesn't pay as much, but it covers the seasonal firefighters for like off-duty injuries and things of that nature. And we're hoping here that those seasonal firefighters in the future will become full-time CAL firefighters. And I just wanted to bring that up because we might have listeners or people that fall in those categories.
It is really important. I know that many of our federal members get insurance products that may or may not be available through their employer. Our industrial members at a couple of our airports, Moffett Field, JPL, I think Lawrence Livermore, just some of the different labs. It's important that if you're a member of the IFF and the California Professional Firefighters, you have access to this suite of products. I think we need to look at this as we just did an introduction to the insurance trust, and I think I'd even put it out to the members. is there something that you want to hear more about? And I think that we need to, okay, guys, let's think about what do we have on offer? Let's cut it down a little bit more. Maybe the next one, we look at union liability insurance a little closer, and maybe you talk about homeowners, auto. Do we do health insurance?
We don't do any health, and we do dental.
We do dental, but we kind of break into those things because we're here because we had this discussion, and I had it with your board, and realized we've had a couple really good avenues to reach out and talk to our members about what is offered, and you guys, and I know I have to get close to wrapping up. What I appreciate about the trust board in the last several years, I tasked them, grow us beyond PYI, find products that our members need or products that will help protect them, their health and their lifestyle. And you all have you've met that, you're doing that. And so our trust becomes stronger when all 36,000 members know about it and members choose to participate in it. And that's what it's like, y'all, this is us. This isn't somebody else. This is us. Right. Yes, we have a third-party administrator, but they only do what our trust tells them and allows them to do, and they guide them. And so there's no better organization. It's for firefighters, run by firefighters with professional guidance. But at the end of the day, firefighters, like each of us, are the ones making decisions on behalf of our members to provide the best. And so
why we use that third-party administrator. In California, you have to have licensed insurance agents that
which makes sense.
So we
that's not us.
Use them. We're not the insurance agents.
No.
I guess we could be, but we're not. No. We employ the accountants. We have a money manager. That's important. So we're not out there managing the money improperly.
And maybe that's something that we really hit on next time is it's more than just a third-party administrator and providing insurance products. We also do the following to manage and protect the members' investment and money so that they don't have to worry about it. I think you just brought our next discussion, guys.
And if I may add, if locals would like us to come to them, or if technology is wonderful, we can Zoom in or we can come, since we have directors spread out. It works out really good. They just happen to be that way. We're spread out in the state. Some are in Southern, some are in Central, Northern California. We can come to your local union meeting or meet with your executive board to have a further discussion or talk about it. We're all available. Jason and I are now retired, so it makes it a little easier, but we do have the couple actives are in certain areas that they could come and do that as well. And Mr. Mayberry would love to come if you do that. And he's got a tremendous history as well.
You get him talking about trust issues and then talk to him about the 1970 strike and some of that. But
yes.
Jason, anything that you want to close with?
Yeah, I can't stress enough that our local union leaders need to make themselves knowledgeable about this, the insurance trust, so they can serve their members better by saying, hey, the CPF has an insurance trust that we can get these extra things also, right, when they do the onboarding. So, the local leaders, and my guess is a lot of our local leaders may not even know that there is an insurance trust. It could be.
I think you're probably pretty accurate.
But they're a point of contact for us, and they can always get a hold of us. So if we could do that, really. And it's an honor to sit on this trust for me.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I love that because when you're a local president and you're an executive board member, it is doing the business, but your other most important job is informing the members about the business of the local, the business of the international, the business of the CPF, and what each of those offers. So I think we just built into our next podcast, and I think I don't think we should do this in a series because this is an important trust. It's an important piece of work, and I appreciate having both of you guys here today. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.